The Russian state has run out of soldiers for the home front. So it is arming its bankers. A new law lets the central bank, Sberbank, and other financial giants build their own air defences and hand weapons to their own employees to shoot Ukrainian drones from the sky. This is what desperation looks like. Ukraine's drones have reached Putin's vaults. Ukraine's drone war is now reaching so deep inside Russian-controlled territory that Moscow is preparing bankers to help defend the state. Russia's lower house of parliament has passed a new law allowing the country's central bank, Sberbank, and other major financial institutions to deploy their own anti-drone systems and arm selected employees to repel Ukrainian attacks. According to Reuters, the legislation was passed just hours after a strike hit the Russian central bank's office in occupied Sevastopol in Crimea. Russian-installed Governor Mikhail Razvozhaev claimed the building was struck by a British-made Storm Shadow missile, adding that the office caught fire. Reuters reported that it marked the first known strike on a major Russian central bank facility since the start of the war in February 2022. According to Russia's RBC Radio, the law authorises employees at protected financial institutions to directly engage aerial threats and unmanned systems.
Employees will be empowered to prevent the operation of unmanned aerial vehicles, underwater and surface vessels, and apparatus, unmanned vehicles, and other automated unmanned systems. This right may be used to repel an attack on protected facilities or to repel the threat of an attack on employees or other persons located at these sites.
The move comes as Kyiv intensifies long-range drone and missile strikes against Russian logistics, energy infrastructure, and occupied territories, stretching Moscow's air defences across a massive front. The legislation allows institutions to use electronic warfare systems, jamming equipment, and armed response teams to disable drones approaching critical facilities. Russia's largest lender, Sberbank, along with the Russian Cash Collection Association and Special Postal Service, are among the institutions expected to receive the new authority. Chairman of the State Duma Committee on Financial Markets, Anatoly Aksakov, said the institutions themselves would finance the systems.
Firstly, jamming will be used to make it more difficult for the drones to target and attack the relevant targets. Plus, we'll also use means to shoot down these drones, thereby protecting the relevant targets. If it's the central bank, then the central bank will pay. If it's Sberbank, then Sberbank will pay.
The legislation reflects growing concern inside Russia over Ukraine's increasingly sophisticated deep strike campaign. Over the past year, Ukrainian forces have repeatedly targeted oil depots, rail hubs, fuel convoys, air bases, and logistics corridors deep behind Russian lines using domestically produced drones and Western-supplied weapons. At the same time, Moscow's rhetoric towards Kyiv continues to escalate. Russian government statements this week said Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov warned US Secretary of State Marco Rubio that Moscow planned systematic and consistent strikes on Ukrainian military infrastructure and what Russia described as decision-making centers. As Ukraine pushes its drone campaign deeper into Russian-controlled territory, Moscow is increasingly being forced to adapt, not just on the battlefield, but across the entire state apparatus, including its financial system. The Russia-Ukraine war continues to escalate with no sign of stopping after more than 4 years. And in a fresh escalation, Ukraine struck Voronezh with Storm Shadow missiles, triggering explosions and smoke over Russia's Baltimore air base early on May 27th. Footage analysed by Russian outlet Astra suggested the strike hit near the 325th Aviation Repair Plant, a facility that services Russian military aircraft, including An-12 and Il-76 transport planes, Su-24 bombers, Su-25 attack jets, and Mi-8 and Mi-24 helicopters. According to Astra, Russia's Voronezh region declared a missile alert early in the morning. Regional Governor Alexander Gusev later said Russian air defenses had intercepted 2 high-speed targets over the city.
Early this morning, air defense forces on duty detected and destroyed 2 high-speed targets in the skies over Voronezh. According to preliminary information, there are no casualties. Falling debris damaged a tire shop and a trailer. The drone attack alert remains in place in the region.
Open-source monitoring channel AMK Mapping later geolocated footage showing smoke rising from the area of the Baltimore airfield. Based on the short duration of the alert and reports of high-speed targets, the channel suggested the strike may have involved British-French Storm Shadow air-launched cruise missiles, though no official confirmation has been issued. Baltimore Air Base, located in Voronezh's Sovietsky district, hosts Russia's 47th Bomber Aviation Regiment of the 105th Mixed Aviation Division. The base is known as one of the primary operating locations for Su-34 fighter bombers, which Russia regularly uses in strikes against Ukrainian territory. Russian forces have repeatedly relocated aircraft from the base due to concerns over Ukrainian long-range attacks, although the facility continues to serve as an active aviation hub. Earlier, the Baltimore Air Base was reportedly targeted in a Ukrainian strike in August 2025 that damaged an S-300 Air Defense Division and possibly destroyed 2 Su-24 aircraft. Meanwhile, the Tuapse oil refinery on Russia's Black Sea coast was reportedly targeted again overnight. Astra published eyewitness footage from the area, though the extent of any damage remained unclear. Local authorities did not comment. Occupied Crimea also came under attack. Russian-installed Sevastopol governor Mikhail Razvozayev said Ukrainian drones and Storm Shadow missiles targeted the city overnight, with one missile reportedly striking the Southern Directorate building of Russia's central bank. Russia's defense ministry later claimed its air defenses intercepted and destroyed 140 Ukrainian drones over 7 Russian regions and occupied Crimea overnight, but made no mention of any missile strikes.